And now, please welcome our resident host for the evening, Mr. Carl Zaleski.
Good evening, everyone. Ashby Ponds Drama Club welcomes you to our 2022 spring production of two short, light-hearted plays. Our first play this evening is intriguingly called Death of a Dead Guy. It was written by William L. Bowman Jr. and is produced by special arrangement with Pioneer Drama Services, Incorporated in Denver, Colorado. Have you ever enjoyed a mystery drama of an unexpected death followed by a search for the guilty party? Of course you have. Especially if it was set in an old mansion filled with caricatures of every 1940s tough guy gumshoe to ever grace the pages of a dime novel. Pay close attention so you too can follow the clues, distinguish silly expressions and red herrings from what might be called logic. Keep your eye on the dead guy who may surprise you. Be aware if you detect any movement from him, the characters on stage most certainly do not. Now, let the show begin.
Good evening, Mr. B. I have your evening snack, and I...
Colette, what's going on?
He's dead. Are you certain? Oh, Reginald? Reginald? Oh.
Oh. Madam.
Yeah, Reginald. I suppose he is dead at that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, not to worry, Colette. You will still be paid. That's not exactly what I meant, but thank you.
Shall I summon the police, madam?
Well, that sounds like the right thing to do, but how should I know? I had never been a party to something like this before. Really?
The telephone seems to have suffered its demise as well, madam.
It what?
The telephone is dead as well, madam.
It too? It must be contagious.
It seems that it was also murdered.
Oh, well, perhaps the phone in the foyer.
should like to announce an arrival.
Should we be entertaining just now?
I ain't exactly company, ma'am.
Then exactly who are you? The Avon lady?
No, I ain't the Avon lady. Not since that unfortunate incident with that Girl Scout. I'd have taken her, too, if she hadn't squirted cookie filling in my eyes. She shouldn't have gotten in my way, trying to sell on my turf.
Then who are you?
I'm Pete Cannon, the meanest, roughest, toughest, ace private eye, ear, nose, throat comes extra, in the business. Only one I got left.
Oh, that's all well and good, Mr. Cannon, but what makes you think we need your services?
Lady, I hate to break it to you, but you got a stiff in your library.
A stiff what?
A carcass, cold meat, a debtor, a mort, carrion, remains, a cadaver, a dead body, you dizzy dame.
Oh, that. Well, it just so happens that Bertram has telephoned the real police from the phone in the foyer. Tell him, Bertram.
One moment, madam. Would that be this telephone?
Must be contagious.
Oh, well, perhaps Bertram should go to town to summon the authorities.
Not so fast, Jeeves. Nobody's going to leave until we find out what happened here.
Well, that Mr. B, the gentleman at the desk, got a knife stuck in his back, and now he's dead. And somebody killed the phones, too.
Colette, why don't you go make some coffee? Mr. Cannon, is it? We were just wondering what you're doing here. I mean, we live and work here. How do we know you're not the killer?
Fair enough, your ladyship. I was about to come in here to use your phone because my car broke down. See, I was on a stakeout up the road a piece, looking for a band of lollipop smugglers and...
Lollipop smugglers?
Yeah, there's a big black market in Lithuanian lollipops. The taxes to get them into the country being so high and all.
Madam, I fail to see what connection there is with the master's untimely departure from this vale of tears.
What?
With that!
Nothing, I guess, Jeeves. Anyway, like I was saying, I was about to come in to use your phone. I was crawling along under the bushes outside of that window when I heard someone screaming bloody murder. Sorry about the pun.
Well, that would have been me. I was coming in with Mr. B's evening snack when I saw him like that, and then I screamed like this, "Ah!" And then I dropped the tray like this.
Colette!
I was just trying to tell the detective what happened. I just was worried.
You may go.
Sorry.
In the bushes? What were you doing prowling around in my begonias at this time of night? Really?
Azaleas.
I beg your pardon?
You said begonias. What you got out there, outside this here window here, is azaleas.
Oh, well, whatever they were, what were you doing out there tiptoeing?
Not without a license, ma'am. No, I was collecting.
Collecting azaleas?
No, snails. I got this great offer to go in on a farm to train them to race. All I got to do is put up 72.879 big ones, collect a couple of hundred specimens for breeding stock, and we're good to go. I already put up the dough, and by the time my partner gets back from his business trip to Tijuana, I'll have the stock.
That is the most absurd thing I have ever heard.
No, really. See that one? He'll be great in the 6-inch dash. Of course, breeding him will be easier when I can figure out which is the boys and which is the girls.
Okay, I believe you. Now put those horrid things away.
Snail racing aside for a moment, I still feel the most prudent action would be to alert the local constabulary.
I'm not certain, Bertram, but isn't it a little late to call a priest?
The police, madam.
Well, how the telephones have been.
Knocked off? Just so happens I spent a couple of days as a telephone repairman. I can get this baby up and ringing. For a modest fee, of course.
That would be the only thing modest about him.
Well, perhaps we should let Mr. Cannon try. Bertram, what would that be? What would be the harm in that?
You heard the lady, Jeeves.
That's Bertram, sir.
Okay, Bertie, whatever. Come on.
But, sir, the telephone box is right here.
Boy, can't get nothing past you, can we? No, Bert, we're taking this baby out to the main junction box. Our phonocidal maniac probably messed with the doohickeys and whatchamacallits out there, too.
Doohickeys?
Whatchamacallit? Colette, where is Miss Fielding?
Mr. B sent her out.
Not that I'm aware of. I have not seen her this evening since prior to dinner.
It seems that Mr. Cannon has found the electrical junction box rather than the telephone junction box.
Escargot, anyone? By the way, does anyone know this? I caught her sneaking down by the garage.
Why, that's May Fielding, Mr. Bascom's personal secretary.
May Fielding? That's a new one, Toots.
Really, Mr. Cannon, I will not tolerate such a disrespectful form of address toward one of my staff.
What disrespectful address? It's her name, Toots Monahan.
My old man played the clarinet, and so he named me Toots.
Toots here is wanted in 4 states. Toots here is wanted in 4 states, 17 counties, 92 cities, and 108 municipalities for running games on rich, gullible old codgers. But this is the first time she's offed one of them.
Oft? Oh,
I never offed nobody, Cannon.
I suppose you ain't scragged no household appliances, neither.
All right. I admit I iced the phones. And why did I do that? Is a good question, isn't it? I iced the phones. And I'll go down for it too. But I ain't going to the hot seat for doing in one of my marks. I ain't never off nobody since I was 6 and I was let off.
Yeah, that's the straight skinny for sure. But you got a lot of things to answer for. And I swore by the curly locks of Hairlock Shones I'd get you, and I did. Or I ain't Pete Cannon, the meanest, roughest, toughest, ace private eye, ear, nose, throat comes extra, in the business.
All right, you got me. But do you have to drag me all the way from here to Poughkeepsie?
Okay, Toots doll.
now really, Mr. Cannon, I do not believe in this condescending that form of address is needed.
What condescending? Doll's her middle name.
Bob was a ventriloquist. Kind of weird. But I had lots of playmates, even though I was an only child.
Found it.
Madam, as much as I am loath to admit it, it would appear that our only recourse at the moment would be to employ Mr. Cannon to sort out this unseemly matter.
Well, if you think so, Bertram, Mr. Cannon,
I got receipts for everything.
I'm sure you do, but do you suppose you would be willing to attempt to shed some light on this unfortunate and untimely death of my Reginald?
She wants you to figure out who off the stiff.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just collecting my thoughts.
That won't take too much time.
I think maybe we ought to start with you, Toots.
I already told you, I didn't ice the guy.
Iced? Oh,
But you admit you done in the phones. How's come?
Mr. B got suspicious about me. Don't know why. Anyway, he decided to call a pal of his at the Federal Bureau of Idiots, who was going to call him back with the skinny on me. So I grabbed my grip, did in the phones to give me more time, and I was trying to sneak out when he collared me.
Was the old guy down in the mouth about something?
why do you ask that?
Was he sad or depressed?
Not that I'm aware of. Why do you ask?
Just trying to rule out the possibility he might have offed himself.
Coffee, anyone?
Colette, are we out of China again? Colette, Mr. Cannon was asking about Mr. Bascom's mood this evening. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, he was just his regular self. Why?
Mr. Cannon is trying to ascertain whether Mr. Bascom might have stabbed himself in the back.
Watch it, Bert. I ain't ruled out the butler.
What about the maid? I mean, me.
Was something pinched?
Stolen?
Then you're off the hook. Everybody knows the maid steals, the butler murders.
That may be true, but you may exculpate Bertram.
Let him off.
Yeah, of course. Well, consider him excavated. For now.
Oh, are you really a con artist, Miss Toots?
You heard the man. I'm wanted more than Betty Grable is on a troop ship. And I've got so many aliases, I haven't even met all of them. And I've fleeced more marks.
We get the message, Toots.
Well, how did you get started, if you don't mind my asking?
Colette, really?
I was just asking.
I'm thinking maybe somebody slipped the old duffer a potent Mickey Finn.
Drugged him.
Ha! Gotcha. I meant poison. Did your hubby eat or drink anything out of the ordinary today? Anything suspicious or spicy?
You would have to ask Bertram, Mr. Cannon. He served Reginald his dinner.
Oh, really? How about it, Bertie? Should you still be extroverted?
Besides the fact that Mr. Bascom dined upon the same fare as the rest of the household, isn't the cause of his death blatantly apparent?
Could be. But there hasn't been a case of that in the States since they stopped allowing that tainted mackerel in. Besides, he still has his shoes on. Now about this fair you mentioned. Did everybody go together? Was there a one-eyed monkey there begging for coins?
Not fair. Fair!
Not a carnival, Pete. Food. F-A-R-E. It means food.
Yeah, well, that monkey owes me for an expensive pair of loafers. Not to mention 3 nights in a Mexican jail.
Mr. Bascom most assuredly was not poisoned.
Allergies, then? I hear they can do you in pretty quick. I knew this dame in Fresno. Never mind.
Only hay fever.
Got any hay on you, Jeeves?
Oh, really? This is absurd.
I ain't so sure about him yet. Maybe he should be expatriated. Maybe not.
You know, it's too bad you're a crook.
Thanks. I am what I am. However, lately, I have been given a lot of thought to going straight, especially if maybe I could find the right detective.
You don't mean Mr. Cannon? He wants to take you into the FDA or whatever.
I know. Call me crazy, but there is just something about it that sends me clear into orbit.
What are the two of yous gawping at?
What were you saying, Mr. Cannon?
Oh, yeah. There's holes all over the top of this desk. Assuming for a minute the knife is what done the grisly deed,
Killed him.
is there anybody who might have wanted the old codger out of the picture?
Dead.
Anybody who's nearsighted, nervous, or maybe has the shakes?
No one that I can think of. Why?
Seems like they missed a few times.
What you mean, Pete?
There's stab marks all over the top of this desk. Kind of reminds me of that time in Singapore when those ice pick smugglers lost it on a sharp curve, late, one dark and stormy night. Just as I was closing in on them, too.
Telegram, madam. It's addressed to Mr. Bascom.
Let me see that. This don't mean nothing.
What's it say, Petey? To Mr. Reginald Bascom III, from IMPA Committee. Dear Reggie, stop. Received your application, stop. would be thrilled to have you compete this year. Stop. Sincerely, Harvey Wallace Banger, Competition Inspector. Stop.
See, I told you. Worthless as an empty gat in a dark alley when you got nothing but your wits and a goon who's set to do you.
Gun. Ruffian. Kill you.
What the heck's IMPA anyway?
Incidentally, madam, the telegram messenger has agreed to summon the proper authorities upon his return to town.
Good thinking, Bertram. Thank you.
Oh, no, you don't. If I crack this case first, I still get the Mazuma.
The money. Petey, I don't suppose you'd consider a little help, would you?
Nah, them shrinks is all phonies. Besides, I like my head the size it is, and pointed just where I want it pointed.
Pointed is right.
I meant on the case, you dope. Of course, I know that any help that I could give you would only be on account of because you have pointed out everything so well, on account of your superior investigative techniques and general moxie.
Of course it would. But why would a dame like you, who's on the down and dirty, want to throw in with a straight shooter like me?
To prove to you that I really want to go straight. And maybe some other reasons, too.
I don't care who assists whom, so long as they settle this morbid matter.
I still get the scratch?
The money.
Now, Colette, what about the money? Oh, never mind.
I still get the goodie?
Agreed. Pete, was that window behind the desk open when you were out there crawling around looking for escargot on the hoof?
Yeah, so what?
Hang on, you'll see soon enough. What's that in his hand?
His face?
His other hand, genius.
A handkerchief. Look here, Toots, I don't see...
You'll see. Lift up his head and look at his other hand. Just as I thought, a sneeze. Just one more piece, and this puzzle will be complete. Bertram, you know more about Mr. B's affairs than anyone.
That's correct, ma'am.
Could you explain this to us, please?
Certainly. It's a reply from the IMPA,
Which is?
the International Mumbly Pig Association.
And would you be kind enough to explain to us what mumbly peg is?
If you feel it is important.
I do feel it is important, Bertram, or I wouldn't have asked.
Very well. Mumbly Pig is a rather lowbrow and barbarous game the object of which is to balance a knife by its point on various portions of one's anatomy and fling it so that it lands point first and sticks in the ground. Mr. Bascom was quite an accomplished player. He won a tournament 3 years running and was past president of the association.
That's it. Case solved.
Then who off the slab?
Nobody, silly. It was an accident.
An accident? How?
Mr. B was planning on competing in the IMPA tournament. He was up here at his desk practicing.
The holes in the desktop.
Exactly. When the breeze blew in the pollen from the azaleas,
Through the open window.
it kicked up his hay fever, and he was wiping his nose.
With the handkerchief.
He threw the knife up, sneezed,
Into his hand.
and the knife came back down while he was slumped over from his sneeze.
And stabbed him in the back. Just like I thought.
The police have arrived, madam. I shall let them in.
I must hand it to you, Mr. Cannon. It seems that the case is solved.
Of course it is. You hired Pete Cannon.
The meanest.
Roughest, toughest.
Ace, private eye, ear, nose.
Throat comes extra.
In the business.
Come along, Colette. We must prepare for our guests.
Guests? What guests?
The police, come along.
Say, Toots, were you really on the level about going straight?
Why you asking, Pete? Are you looking for a partner?
Maybe. Interested?
Maybe.
Well, that certainly took long enough.
Well, did you like that first show? All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. Our second play this evening is called Just Desserts. It was written and directed by Rob Stotts, one of our residents here at Ashby Ponds. Dinner parties are fun, aren't they? Well, at least usually, but once in a while they take an unexpected turn. If you've ever had unpleasant surprises at your parties, you'll definitely sympathize with our host and guest this evening. You'll leave being grateful that your parties have never been quite that exciting. During the opening scene, be sure to watch both sides of the stage. What's going on may seem not at all related to a dinner party, but the connection will soon become clear as the plot develops. The impact of what happens in that first scene unfolds just in time for dessert. Now, let our second show begin.
The cops are right behind us. We gotta hide the stuff.
There.
Police, hold it right there. Why didn't you pull over when we signaled you, and why did you run when you got out of your car?
We didn't pull over. We pulled into the parking lot and we were in a hurry because we had to get to the store before it closed.
Pat them down, Vera. Let's see what they're carrying.
Who's this, your mother?
Watch it, buddy.
Ow, that hurt. You got a warrant for this?
You just came out of a building owned by a known drug dealer. We have sufficient cause to believe you are carrying illegal substance. So put your hands up over your head. You too, Jocko. Frisk.
Hands up. Come on, go away. Hold that.
Take it.
They're clear, sir.
Vera, go check out their car. Let's see some ID from you punks. Come on. Sometime today. Edward Santucci, that you? Daniel Pratt. Pretty lousy picture.
I'll tell my photographer. Are we free to go? We got some shopping to do.
Don't see anything obvious. Do you want to impound it?
No, leave it. I'm through with you clowns for now, but I'll be watching.
But that was close. Now how do we get our stuff back from that lady?
I saw her go and get into a red Toyota Camry and drive off. I couldn't get the whole license plate, but the last three numbers were 227.
Well, she must live somewhere nearby. We gotta search the neighborhood and find that car. We're out of here.
Right.
exhausted. After spending all day with a client, then grocery shopping, I ran into Martha Post in the parking lot. I must have spent 20 minutes listening to her tell me about all her health problems, her kidney issues, her husband's goiter, her kids' teeth, God knows what else. It was a regular organ recital. She never stops talking.
She is a talker.
Oh, Brent, would you put the groceries away for me, please? I'm too tired to do it, and the ice cream's going to melt. The grocery bags are on the kitchen counter.
Sure, I'll
Thanks.
take care of that. Gotta save that ice cream.
Of course, of course.
What do you want to do with this bag with white stuff in it? It looks like flour.
I have to buy flour for tomorrow night's dessert. I'm baking a cake. Just put it in the flour canister.
Ooh-wee! Strawberries. I love strawberries.
Don't you take any. They're to go on top of the cake for tomorrow night's dessert.
There's more flour. It won't all fit in the canister.
Whatever's left over, just put it into the cupboard.
What's going on tomorrow night?
I told you, Charlie and Enid Donato are coming over for dinner. I asked them to come at 6:30. I'm going to make shrimp scampi.
Yeah, good. I love your scampi. You know, it's really good to have Charlie at a dinner party. He tells such great jokes. I know he's a policeman, but does he have to bring that gun with him everywhere he goes?
He says you never know when a bad guy's going to turn up, so he wants to be ready. I saw him in the parking lot at the Giant today talking to two shaggy-looking guys. I didn't want to interrupt him, so I didn't speak to him.
He sees bad guys behind every tree. What do you want me to do with this, these cans of fruit?
I'll put them in the cupboard on the top shelf. But leave out the peaches. I'm going to make a cobbler with them tonight.
Well, I'm all done here. How about a drink?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I found a red car
Where?
in the Walden Oaks Apartments parking lot off Dunbarton Street. It was in a spot marked reserved, apartment 312.
Are you sure it's the one?
Well, the last three numbers on the license were 227. How many red Camrys with those numbers do you think there are in this town?
Great. We'll go there tonight. We'll hit them at dinner time. They're bound to be home then.
I can't do it till after 7 o'clock. I gotta pick up my kid from basketball practice.
Okay, pick me up at 7:15.
How are we gonna get in and do this?
I'll figure a way. Just pick me up at 7:15 and bring a ski mask just in case.
I don't have a ski mask.
Well, how about putting one of your old lady's stockings over your head?
Oh, I'm not putting a stocking over my head. Look, this isn't a jewel heist. Just tell them that we think they picked up a package of ours by mistake at the grocery store, and could we please have it back?
Good idea. It'll be easy. And I'll bring my peeps just in case they get sticky.
A gun? A gun? This is getting out of hand. I agreed to drive you around to pick up and deliver this stuff, but not gunplay.
Look, this package is worth a couple of grand, and I ain't taking any chances on losing it. I'll only show the gun if it's absolutely necessary. We'll pick up the package, finish the delivery, collect the dough. And the next time we do this, I'll have my wheels back, and you won't have to be involved ever again. Gavisha Paisan.
Well, all right. I'll see you at 7:15.
Buongiorno.
Are you ready for our guest? Charlie and Enid will be here in a few minutes.
I think so. I've got cold beer for Charlie, Diet Coke for Enid. Do you want to have a drink while we're waiting for them?
No, thank you. I'm having trouble with the cake. The flour doesn't seem to want to hold together very well. But I'll have some white wine with dinner, though.
Okay. That's probably Charlie and Enid. I'll get it. Welcome. Come on in.
Good to see you, Brad.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Something smells delicious.
Anne's in the kitchen cooking scampi. Can I get you all a drink?
Sure, I'll have a beer.
I'll have a Diet Coke, please.
Okay. Can I take your coat, Charlie?
Thanks, but I'll keep it on.
Do you take that gun everywhere you go?
It's required by regulation, and you never know when you might need it.
Please don't shoot it in the house. It'll scare all the neighbors. I'll get your drinks now.
Why does he hassle me all the time about the weapon?
I think it makes him nervous. You really don't have to bring it here, you know.
I gotta wear it.
Ooh, this isn't working.
Can I help?
No, thanks. I'll be out in a minute.
Well, what's new, Charlie?
Oh, these cutbacks are gonna kill me. They pulled Vera my 60-year-old desk sergeant off her desk and given her to me as my partner in the cruiser.
How did she do?
Oh, she's a tough old broad. She's doing okay, but it's kind of embarrassing. And you never know what might happen in a real situation.
Ooh. So, what's new on the police blotter?
Oh, the usual, domestic violence, traffic stops. We've been staking out the house of a drug dealer, trying to pick up some of his runners with the goods to build a case. Thought we had a couple yesterday. They ran from their car, but somehow they dumped their goods. They couldn't find anything on them or in their car.
Well, that sounds a lot more exciting than selling life insurance.
Good to see you. Let's have a toast to dinner and good company.
What was your problem in there?
Oh, I'm having trouble with the cake. The flour didn't seem right. But I put it in the oven anyway, so we'll see what comes out.
I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
Charlie, did I see you in the parking lot at the Giant yesterday talking to two men? You seemed intent on your conversation, so I didn't interrupt you.
Were you there? I was just telling Brad about apprehending a couple bozos. We thought they were carrying drugs, but no luck.
Could we talk about something else? I get police talk every night. And how is your son doing at school?
Oh, they are fine. Neither one calls us very often, but they both seem to be enjoying college life. Oh, that's the buzzer. Everything should be ready. Why don't we move into the dining room?
Wait for me. Another magnificent meal down the hatch.
Well, the cake should be ready in a couple of minutes, and I'll just serve it here, and you can add your own strawberries and whipped cream.
Brad, I still do not buy your statement at dinner that men are happier than women.
Oh, come on. Look at the evidence. We don't change our name when we get married. Wedding plans take care of themselves. We never get pregnant. Same work, more pay. Let's see, what else we've got? Oh, we never have to wear a shirt in hot, sweaty weather. And we don't have to drive to another gas station because the restroom here is too icky. I could go on, but it's obvious men are happier.
All it takes to make men happy is a full belly and a warm bed. I don't buy your standards because by them, a fish in a fish tank would be the happiest creature on earth. Besides, happiness is overrated. I believe God wants us to lead fulfilling lives.
Whoa, things are getting a little heavy here. No politics or religion, please.
Speaking of religion, it reminds me of a joke I heard recently about an atheist walking in the forest. Tell us. No, you've got it. This atheist is walking in the forest, admiring the beauties of nature. Suddenly, a 7-foot grizzly bear jumps out of the bushes and charges him. The atheist turns and tries to run, but he trips and falls. He rolls over to find the bear right on top of him. As the bear raises his paw to strike, the atheist cries out, "Oh my God!" Time stops. The bear freezes. The sounds of the forest disappear. A light comes out of the sky, and a voice says, "You have denied my existence all your life. Do you expect me to get you out of this predicament if I to consider you a believer?" The atheist looks into the light and says, "It would be hypocritical of me to expect you suddenly to treat me as a believer, but perhaps you could make this bear a believer." "Done," says the voice. The light goes out. The sounds of the forest return. The bear straightens up, puts his paws together, bows his head, and says, "Lord, bless this food which I'm about to receive."
Good as always.
Oh, the cake should be cool by now. Let's have dessert.
Great.
It's ruined!
What? What's wrong?
Look at this. It didn't rise. It looks like a pancake. I guess we'll just have strawberries and whipped cream.
Strawberries and whipped cream would be just lovely.
It's hard as a rock. I think we could use it as a frisbee.
Excuse me, Brad. I need to go to the can.
You know where it is over there.
Sure, thanks.
Ah, the strawberries.
Who could that be?
I haven't got any idea.
These two gentlemen would like to use their phone. They say their car broke down and they would like to call a tow truck.
How'd you get in the building?
Oh, some lady was coming out and we just let ourselves in through the open door.
And you came all the way up to the 3rd floor to find a phone. What are you, troglodytes that don't have cell phones?
I got a cell phone. The damn battery's dead. What they call me?
To tell the truth, we came here because we think the lady here accidentally put a package of ours in her shopping bag at the Giant yesterday.
What kind of package?
It was a white bag with some powder in it.
Was it flour?
Yeah, that's what it was. Flour.
And you came up here to borrow a cup of flour?
No, not borrow. We want it back.
I did buy flour yesterday. Bran, you put the groceries away. Did you see an extra bag of flour?
Well, yes, I did. And I put it in the flour canister, like you said. And then there was a second bag.
I only bought one bag of flour. It was a white gold metal bag. What did you do with that?
It's up in the pantry, like you told me.
So, our flower's in your flower canister.
Ah,
Well, how about you give us that?
But I used your flour to make the cake tonight, and it didn't work out. I'm sorry, but that is terrible flour. Why don't we give you the new bag?
We don't want your flower. We want our flower.
but she cooked your flour. It's in the cake. What is this? You got some special power flour?
Yeah, it's a special power flower. Look, go and get the damn flour before I have to use this.
Oh.
Now, how about you go and get it? Come on, move it. I'm growing old over here. Come on.
Okay, okay. I'm going.
What is going on? Is that a real gun?
Yeah, it's a real gun. Sit down, Pop.
Yeah, Charlie, it's a real pop gun.
Go and get the damn flour. Dan, you go with him.
This is what I call a real gun. Now carefully put your
Mamma
gun
mia.
on the table. And put your hands up before I blow your brains out. You too, meathead.
Don't shoot, Charlie. Brains will stain the rug.
Over here, you two. Stand facing that direction. You two can sit. But put your hands behind your back where I can see them. Brad, go get some rope so we can tie these punks up.
I don't think I have any rope.
There should be some cord in the laundry room. Will that do?
Sure, anything, whatever you got.
Okay.
Just anything to tie these bozos up with.
How did these guys get in here?
They came to the door. They wanted to take our flour canister. They said something about how I accidentally put their package of flour in my grocery bag. But I did no such thing. But Brad said there were 2 bags of flour, and he put one in the flour canister, and I used that tonight to bake the cake, and you saw how badly it came out.
These are the 2 guys we apprehended yesterday at the Giant. You said you were there. They must have dropped it in your grocery bag when you weren't looking before I got there. That's why we couldn't find it on them.
I was talking to Martha Post when you arrived. I bet they could have done that then.
That stuff in your canister is probably illegal drug. We're going to have to take that to the lab and test it. And don't eat your cake.
It's okay. Some stuff fell off the dryer. But there's no cord or rope or anything in here.
There must be something we can use to tie these guys up with.
Will this do?
Those are mine.
I'll buy you a new pair. What size do you take? They'll be fine, Brad. Tie these guys up.
I thought you said this would be easy.
Shut up!
Edith, call 911. Tell them I want 2 squad cars here ASAP. Put it on speakerphone.
This is 911. Police emergency.
Hello, 911. Charlie Donato wants 2 squad cars here right away.
Well, this doesn't sound like Charlie Donato.
Well, I'm not Charlie. He's over there. I'm his wife. You're on speakerphone.
How do I know Charlie's there?
Is that you, Shirley?
What did he say?
He said, is that you, Shirley?
Yeah, this is Shirley, but that doesn't mean he's Charlie.
Well, tell her this is Charlie who knows She has a rosebud tattoo on her right cheek.
He says this is Charlie, who knows you have a rosebud tattooed on your right cheek.
On her face?
No. It's her butt.
And how do you know that, Charlie?
Is this a domestic dispute?
No. But how does Charlie know you have a rosebud tattooed on your right butt?
Well, because I showed it to one of the girls at the station, and now half the county police force knows about it. But now I believe that is you, Charlie, you old bugger. Okay, I'll get 2 squads to you right away. What's the address, and what is the situation?
What's the address here?
This is Ann Phillips. We live at Walden Oaks Apartments. 2 men broke into our apartment, and they are tied in chairs, and Charlie has a gun on them.
I will send 2 cars. They should be there in 10 minutes. Do you want to keep this line open?
No, that's not necessary. I've got things under control. Be sure they bring cuffs.
No, Charlie's in control, but have them bring handcuffs. And when they arrive, have them hit the button for apartment 312, and we will buzz them in. Got that?
Sign it off.
Okay, thanks. Well, while we're waiting, why don't we have some strawberries and whipped cream for dessert? You don't mind if we eat without you, do you? It's just dessert.
And besides, when the police get here, you'll get your own.
Just
desserts.